Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine wanted to be just...
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time for another week. N4G Radio. This is episode 718 for October 10th, 2022. And on the show this week we have Anthony.
Hola.
We got the Wombat.
Yep.
And we have Terrence.
Yeah, boy.
What's your flavor of love?
Exactly.
That's great.
I'm the hype man this week, man. That's what I'm about to do.
You're about to be the hype man for what? There's no hype on this show.
What are you talking about? N4G. We out here today. Here we go.
Okay.
Alright, this is way too much enthusiasm on this show. I'm gonna have to leave, guys.
It's too early for that shit. Oh, anyway, it is that time of year. Everybody's heat is turned on because it's motherfucking cold in the morning.
Yeah.
I was looking at the new releases before the show to get everything ready, and I had to click in to the Xbox version, which means there are too many video games coming out right now.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. It's that time.
But anyway, we will talk about said video games, and I'm going to kick it off with Anthony.
I've played nothing new. I've been pouring my time into Recore because I wanted something to just get into, and I've been getting into it. I'm like really surprised. I figured I was just gonna bounce off everything, and Recore's just been kind of taking my time. I did restart Super Mario Odyssey because I clearly have issues. And we'll talk about the other thing I engaged with later.
I want to
sounds
understand.
ominous. Engaged
Well, yeah.
with. Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's been a conversation this week.
Yeah.
I want to know how y'all motherfuckers don't play anything when I know there's like 5 outstanding reviews for everybody on this side.
All right, I'll straight up tell you. I got the Kirby one. I keep wanting to. The Kirby one at this point, I just have to fucking write. Because no one's playing that game online anymore, and that's a disappointment because it was fun. Made in Abyss, man, I asked for that game, and I don't have the heart to tell people, like, that game's pacing is so fucking bad. Like, I don't want to play any more of it. It took so fucking long to let me get back into the game. Like, a cutscene would have sufficed. How dare you steal time away from me? And the Rabbids one I was putting off because I couldn't remember my fucking Ubisoft account, and I didn't want to turn my Switch to airplane mode because for some fucking asshole reason, and I'm not being nice about this, and they'll be in the review for this too. The Rabbids game, which is like a party game, you know, something that kids and parents are probably going to play together, demands you sign into a Ubisoft account. You go,
Wait,
okay.
is this ain't the Mario one?
This
is
Rabbids Party of Legend.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's based off of Journey to the West. It was really kind of neat. But I went to play it with my mom the first time I played it. And it's like, sign into your Ubisoft account. I'm like, not right now. So I like hit cancel or whatever, and the game won't let you continue unless you sign in. Unless you go into airplane mode, in which case it doesn't ask you. That should not be a thing in a party game. It shouldn't be a thing in any game, but it really shouldn't be a thing for, like, what's, like, for kids. Like, so it was me trying to figure out what email I had. So I had to sit at the computer one day and fucking figure out what email I used for the Ubisoft account, and then I found the right one, so it's logged in, and now I just gotta play it more. But that's so like, 2 of the games I have for review seemingly actively hate the player at times. And boy, that just really kind of goes, maybe this isn't for me anymore. So I can tell
Probably
you why.
not.
I can tell you why I didn't get to those. When I want to play, like, all I wanted to do was play Made in Abyss. That game starts off really strong, but then it decided to just shove me down basically corridors where 90% of the mechanics don't matter, just keep running. And all I can think of is like, but you showed me how this stuff works, so it's not like these mechanics don't work. It's just you're now not giving them a reason to exist. If it can be done by a cutscene, don't make me play a longer section that doesn't really have any gameplay in it. Like, I hate that shit. It's the reason why I don't like Uncharted. I don't like Uncharted because when it's the gunplay, I don't think it's very fun. And the rest of the time, I'm like, I'm kind of just moving the character to the next spot. That's what Made in Abyss tried to do, but it was anime, which already has me sort of like on the ropes. Not.
Did you play, just real quick, this isn't about Made in Abyss because I don't really know what that is, but did you play Uncharted 4? I'm just curious.
I started Uncharted 4. I did the rooftop segment, and I was like, this is great. Like, a little bit of options of stealth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Wow. I was trying to hold that sneeze in, but that didn't work. And at the end of that rooftop segment, they throw you into a gunfight, and I went, go fuck yourself. I just did all that work to be undetected, and then you fuck me like that. It's just, I'm done. I was like, I'm done.
Fair enough. Because, like, my biggest complaint with that series was, like, the gunplay. Well, the gunplay and the fact that it was, like, super realistic until you got to the third act, and then you end up fighting a zombie Nazi or something crazy, and I was like, that's just a bit of a shift, but that's fine. But the gunplay was bad, and you mentioned that. And 4 is my favorite, because I actually have played all of them. Because it's kind of like the Saw movies. Once I get invested in a series, even if I have issues with it, I still got to finish it out because that's just how I am. But Uncharted, the 4th one was my favorite one. Like, it fixed all the issues that I had with all the other ones, and I just was wondering if you liked the gunplay.
Did you play the Lost Legacy?
I did, and loved it.
That's secretly the best Uncharted game to me.
I would agree. I want a game. I would like another game with the with either Nadine or oh god, I can't think of her name.
Chloe.
Chloe as the lead. Like I like that a lot. Like I've actually replayed that game like 3 times too.
I just played Tomb Raider instead. So
Tomb Raider's good.
Like Tomb Raider is good. I
much preferred that game's take on this, and I was kind of hoping that Uncharted 4 would be that, where it's like sort of an open world, not really, and it wasn't.
Uncharted wants to be a cinematic adventure, whereas Tomb Raider is actually like
a game,
a video game.
Yeah.
It's that's just what it is, and that's fine.
I don't mind the idea of, and I'm not saying Uncharted is this, but I don't mind the issue, like the idea of a walking simulator, which is really just interactive fiction. I don't mind that concept, but there's a time and place, and like going back to Made in Abyss, they clearly wanted to have you play as the character going further and further into this gigantic hole, the Abyss. Titular Abyss, and that's fine, but my issue is that like there was hunger mechanics, there was weapon building, there was inventory management, there was an experience system, and all that gets thrown out the window for an hour or two, which, because I also, another thing, I can't tell how long I've played the game, because apparently when it's on, like, sleep mode, it just keeps clicking minutes. So it says I have, like, 75 hours. I'm like, that's not right.
I mean, you just really like that game.
I really
Yeah.
don't. When it and here's the problem though, like, so it falls back to, and I know everybody's tired of hearing about this on this podcast, Disaster Report 4. And the reason why I bring that game up though is that, like, that was a game who had that had mechanics that just didn't do anything. Right? There was all these mechanics: a hunger meter, a bathroom break meter thing, what was it called? A morality system, karma system, whatever they called it. And they didn't do anything in that game. This is a game like Made in Abyss. Its mechanics actually do something when it allows you to play. The whole concept of going into this hole and then, like, it makes it harder and harder to resurface up to the top of the hole. The further you go down, like, the less likely you are to make it back alive. Fascinating. Just let me do that and then have the story beats of the anime, but they are clearly following the anime story. Like, I went through multiple sections to get down to meet this, like, higher end explorer who's, like, on a base, like, that's, like, midway down or whatever. And now they're teaching me that there's a fishing mechanic, which I knew existed, but, like, there hasn't been a reason why I would need to fish up until this point. So, like, if this is the tutorial, this tutorial's fucking terrible. It's too long. It's not fun. Like, it's hard to go back to, because I really just want to write, like, this is for the most hardcore of fans, because I literally cannot fight the displeasure of playing it. You know, like, when it wants to be a game, cool, why are we having a tutorial 4 or 5 hours in?
It's crazy to me that you asked for this game, I sent it to you, I saw nobody talk about it online, and it's almost like everybody forgot it existed.
I have not forgot it existed. It's literally been I have to literally find the willpower to play it, which is a bad thing to say about a video game, because when it wants to be a game, I enjoy myself. Is it the best game ever? No, but it's doing weird things where I'm like, yeah, that's actually really neat. But, like, it should have been a game. How do I put this? There's a lot of, like, different types of anime adaptations. And this should have been one where you play as your own character in the world of the anime. And should have been sort of fan fiction where you run into these characters. You should not be playing the story, because the story has to be put on rails as much as it has been. That does not make a good game. And so when you start up a game, it asks you which part you want to play. There's the girl and the robot boy, who I am. That's like the story of the anime. She's the main character. You're forced to play that before you play as the other two people. So I don't even know what the other two people are. Maybe that's more of what I was looking for, where it's actually exploration rather than being, like, pushed along to the next beat. I don't know. It's just like there's these worlds that, like, there's really no reason to explore them right now, because they are just pushing me to the next segment. So that's the reason why I need a video game to, like, find the willpower to enjoy video games again, because a lot of the stuff I've been playing are, like, kind of the worst aspects of video games. Like Rabbids, let me tell you, Rabbids, super fun once you get into that game, once you get past that login screen. And I was just like, I don't want to keep having to switch my fucking Switch to airplane mode. And then I just was like, put it on the back burner in my brain, because I'm like, man, I don't got the fucking patience to, like, try to figure out what email was attached to the Ubisoft account. Because I just sign in on Xbox and it's attached already, right? Same with PlayStation. but the Switch doesn't have that option, and this is kind of the first Ubisoft game that's demanded me to do this. So, yeah, those are the reasonings. They're not forgotten. And then just with the Nick Kart Racer, which I just got, I was gonna actually play that tonight. So,
I was gonna say, don't say anything. It's embargoed.
okay, well, I have it, and I haven't touched it yet. So, it'll be done by when's the embargo? Don't fucking say Tuesday.
Well, I mean, it's out this week, so I'd assume it's sometime this week.
All right, I'll burn through that. It'll be a lot of kart racing tomorrow.
Why does a kart racer have an? You know what? Never mind.
Because
Every video game has an embargo.
I'll give them credit on the last game. I liked their last game. My issue was I didn't know who it was for. I'm like, it was a good kart racing game, like a legitimately good kart racing game. I know some other people have said like, no, it's not a good kart racing game, but I disagree. I think it was pretty fun. It had a mission mode, which is something I've been demanding Mario Kart have. But yeah, like here's my kart racing blends with Nickelodeon like oil mixes with water.
I like the first two.
Oh, the first two, like I gave it a 6.5, but that's because I was like, it's fun, it's colorful. I really like the pit crew system. The mission mode is a nice addition. There's kart customization. There's online multiplayer. But I'm like, the license is pointless. The higher difficulty is just chaos, and it lacks the charm and character of the characters you bought the license to. Like nobody talks. There's no noise. Like it was just a very
like
weird...
the fighting game, because that was what.
So
yeah.
My hope, not touching this game yet, is that there might be voice acting in this kart racing game.
Gotcha.
Because
they added voice acting into the fighting game, so I'm assuming they're going to have it in this.
I have to assume at this point they've learned their lesson that, like, it's a very noticeable issue with all the Nickelodeon games that, like, here's all these characters you love. They don't sound like those characters because there's nothing coming out of them.
Yeah, that's what kind of dulled the. I keep calling it the fighting game. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
but,
Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl or whatever.
Yeah, because the concept was super exciting. Those are all characters that we all grew up with and whatever else. Yeah, and Garfield's my man. Like that's oh my god. But then. Nobody talked. There was no voice. And I was like, it's not enough just to, look like. But I know they dropped that patch later, which definitely helped. So I would think going in, like you said, they've learned their lesson, and this kart racer should have those voices from jump.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for you, Anthony, but I played it. They talk.
Thank fuck.
There you go.
It really was like, because I played through that and I was like, why is it? And I mean, at this point, they've done a better job of getting the old school Ninja Turtles out there, because Nickelodeon owns the Ninja Turtles now. But like at the time of the second racing game, they were like, "Here's the Ninja Turtles." I'm like, these are based off of their '80s cartoon design. There's a new show out right now. Why are you not designing them based off of the new designs? Or have both. Or something, but it was just this really weird. Like, why is this?
You gotta make room for JoJo Siwa.
Yeah,
who didn't talk, and by the way, wasn't invited to. She's apparently. So I only knew her because like people on the internet have talked about her. So I figured she was like a.
You don't have to actually tell me. I mean, you can, but you don't have to.
It's actually kind of funny. Because I found out that there was like controversy at the last Nick Kids. I don't know what they're called. The Kids' Choice Awards or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
See, I thought she was gonna be some like. I thought she was like a TikTok star that I'm like, why would I ever know that person? But I'd heard her enough times where I'm like, clearly she's done something else. Apparently, she was like Nickelodeon had some live action stuff, and she was.
Yeah, well, and she was on like Dance Moms or something like that. She's the host of. She's one of the hosts of So You Think You Can Dance. This last season too.
Anyways,
wow.
When she became older, she came out as gay, and then wasn't invited to the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Huh.
Yep. Yeah, it was amazing how that worked.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, what's wrong with you?
That's a bad look, Nickelodeon.
It is. The fact that she was willing to call them out for that, too, after kind of being the human face of the company for quite some time, I was like, good for her. I don't know what
this is spiraled into some weird
you know
shit
what,
at
man?
this
Like,
point.
I don't...
Right.
What do you want me to
right,
say?
right.
It was weird that she was in the video game.
Thanks for tuning into the JoJo Siwa podcast.
Right,
Oh,
but you
God,
know what's
there's
crazy?
a game coming out in 2
I
weeks,
was
right?
I was just about to say that we can actually bring it back to games because she actually is about to drop one. I
Wait,
saw
what?
it at the Xbox store.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a game coming to all the platforms in a couple weeks.
What the fuck is this turned into? I was just like, well...
Right?
Game. What
Hold
the
on, I gotta pull up the game, right? I have to do that at this point because
You
if you
do,
don't, if
yeah.
you don't have reference,
No, I don't. Worldwide
Hold on,
Party?
yes, worldwide party.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's about or what. I just saw it and I was like, I don't even know who this is. And then you said she was the face of Nickelodeon. It must have been well after my time.
Oh, yeah, God,
'cause
yeah.
I don't,
I mean, she's-
not know this girl.
I think she's younger than me.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
there's
good,
your
good for
there's your
her.
video game.
Good for
It's
her.
Outright Games, which makes sense. They
Oh,
make a lot of
God.
those.
Oh, God! Outright games. Outright garbage.
It's very colorful, that's for sure. But she's
Outright
very
Games
colorful.
was the company that published that YouTube star game that Drew reviewed, if you remember.
Hold on, I'm looking up their games. Let me see what Golden...
They also do Paw Patrol, so
Patrols,
they're
yes.
Drew's favorite
Peppa
publisher.
Pig. Oh, they did the
Yeah.
recent Dragons Legend of the Nine Realms and the DC League of Super Pets. Is PJ Masks a kid show?
Yes.
Yes.
They did Hotel Transylvania. That Ryan kid who opens toys on the internet that has games attached. Fast and Furious, Spy Racers, Rise of
That's a
Shifter.
thing.
The Addams Family game, a DreamWorks Spirit game, which Spirit still exists. I remember that coming out when I was a kid. Oh God, The Race with Ryan.
Horse?
Zoids, Wild Blast Unleashed. I'm just making sure they didn't make the game I like. That Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. I think I gave that a
Race
5.
with Ryan.
Yeah, that's the
sounds like
scary one.
when me and Ryan used to go to the movies and he drove.
Oh wow. Was y'all late?
So they have one game I like, which is Dragon's Dawn of New Riders, but it's just a Zelda clone. So
It's all licensed shit. That's
yeah,
what, that's
it's
what
all
they are.
kids licensed shit too.
I thought, Ken,
Exactly.
you were going to say when we went to the movies and Killer Wolverine and I foot raced in the mall parking lot.
You mean the one where he fell at the starting line?
I wasn't going to mention that.
Oh,
But
nice. Oh man.
I still remember that vividly.
Unnecessary shade for a man who's not here.
well, to be fair, he fell after talking trash about how he's going to beat me in a foot
All
race.
right, well then it's funny.
We also
you go.
raced our P, in case you wanted to know.
It's true.
Nice.
This has gone off the rails. We're 30 minutes in.
We went from JoJo to the guy cast, I guess, is what we're doing. I don't know.
Race with
Well,
Ryan to racing with Ryan to eating shit, trying to race
We
Ryan.
should probably move
Shit.
on. We should probably move on. You have any other video games?
No, that was me saying we should move on from me too. Just in general, not even
Okay.
just about video games. Just move on from me. Find another host.
All right, I'll switch over to the Wombat then. How's that?
Is he? Hello?
I was gonna say, is he-
Oh, I muted myself.
Oh, he was like, and I'm gone.
In addition to Survivor IO, which I just play all the time, that game is phenomenal. It's one of the best mobile games that I've played in a very long time.
Yeah, congrats on your legendaries. I saw that.
Thank you.
I don't even
Yeah,
have
I was-
one yet. That's man.
I have played way more than I should have to earn that right. But yeah, that game is great. If you haven't played it yet, it's free. You should go check it out. In addition to that, so I did finish Cyberpunk.
Nice.
So that one's crossed off the list. It was a tremendous game. The story was excellent. I am very pleased with the ending that I got, although I'm aware of what the other endings are.
I was going to ask. Okay.
Yep. So I thought it ended very well, and all the missions were great, especially sort of those final missions were really intense and a lot of fun. The final boss is a friggin' beast. I'm a little bit bummed that you kill that final boss, you get some really cool weapons, and then you never get a chance to use them, which kind of sucks. But other than that, I loved the game. I wish it had been better when it came out. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. I also played Proteus, since everyone had been heaping praise on it, and yeah, that game is awesome.
Yeah.
It reminds me in a great way of the old 90s shooters, and it even reminds me more of those than something like the most recent Doom did, just because of the graphic style and the way sort of the maps are laid out. So, yeah, I loved it. So I'm going to play some more of that. And I did, much to ZT's chagrin, play a couple matches of Overwatch just to see if I could get in, since everyone had been complaining about not being able to get in. It must be something to do with the account, because I got right in with no problems. And
Yeah.
I had to create a new Battle.net account because my son linked mine to Overwatch 1 when he played it, and has already linked it to Overwatch 2 as well since he played that. So I don't know, maybe if it's because I created a brand new Battle.net account and that's why I was able to get in so quickly.
Yeah, I can... spending so much time looking at it this weekend, so apparently the big issue is people who merged accounts from PC to console, which I don't even know why I did it, because I played on PC twice and didn't have anything there. But when you did that, it caused a back-end issue. And I'll get into it when we talk about it in the news, but that's entirely what it was.
Yeah, so I played 2 matches, and that was enough to remind me why I don't play Overwatch. So I quit that and moved on to a multiplayer game that is 1,000,000% my shit, and that is Chivalry 2. I loved the first Chivalry, and played a decent amount of that on PlayStation back when it came out. And so the second one is just more Chivalry, which is exactly what I hoped it would be, and it's a friggin' blast. And
It's so good.
the sheer
good.
chaos of that game, and trying to parry and block and attack from the right angle with a whole bunch of people fighting around you, knowing that there's also team damage, so if you swing the wrong way, you can hit your own team.
Yep.
And so having to, to mix and match whether you use overhead strikes or slashes or stabs based on what's around you and how, the other person is blocking. It's just, there's a lot of strategy involved. It's strategic chaos, is the way I would put it. So,
that's a really good way to put that, yeah.
And it's, it's a blast. Bloody, gory, just really great.
Yeah, I love that
So
game.
I imagine I'll be playing a lot of this. A lot for me is like 3 hours a week. So yeah,
it's
that's
coming to Game Pass too. Like, I don't know, did you?
It's
Is it already on there?
It already
did.
did.
No,
It already did.
Yeah, I
okay.
got it on
Okay.
Game Pass. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because I go ahead.
and I'm glad I waited because I was gonna pay the $40 to buy it on PlayStation when it first came out, and didn't because I was playing Cyberpunk, and I thought, well, I'm not gonna be able to play it anyway. And now I'm glad I waited because obviously it's on Game Pass for free. So, yeah,
Which is awesome because I have
That's-
someone to play with now. Cause,
yeah, for sure.
Do you
Yep, for
do you
sure.
battle cry when you spot in? Because you have to
Sometimes,
do that.
yeah. Sometimes it's because it's fun.
Yeah, right. Just because it's fun, like, and then
Yep.
there's like some of the voice lines are legit hilarious, and they
Yeah,
change
they are.
with the character, like that. Like
Yeah.
that game, it's just fun, and it's strategic chaos, or however you put it. That was so perfect. Like that's
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I
perfect.
love the one. I love the one where you run in and your battle cry. I can't remember which character it is, but the battle cry is, "I'm trying to sound intimidating."
Yeah, I've heard that one.
It's
That
pretty
game
good.
is so
Yeah.
good. Oh.
It's the game's a lot of fun, and it's got some good unlocks too. So you unlock different weapons depending on your class, depending on how much time you put into the class, and how much work you do as a class. So yeah, that's fun too. It's nice to be able to sort of progress without having to worry about a battle pass or anything like that. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right, well, I'll move on to Terrence.
So I haven't played a whole lot this week, but the stuff that I have reviews on, I will say that so Gundam Evolution, which I love and is a great game. That review is finished. It's all typed up. I just haven't sent it off. Tim, I haven't played any more of, but I'm like halfway through that review. And then Metal Hellsinger I finished, and I just have to type up that review. But really, I mean, like this week, I got to play Overwatch 2, which I played yesterday, and I didn't want to say anything because I was like, man, I don't want to be like, because Ken is like the Overwatch man. I don't want to be like, yeah, man, I've been playing all day, and he's over here trying to get in, about to break his TV. Like, I don't want to. But I did get to play it. And, I mean, and this might be a positive, for you, is that it was a lot of fun. Unlike Ryan, I actually found more about what I loved about it than what I hated, like why I walked away. I got in there as Reaper and was tearing it up. Junker Queen is my new favorite tank. Like, she is so good. Like, the play style that's required for her is perfect for me because she's like, a mobile tank. So I'll backline and like hook people and then draw. I don't know. I had a lot of fun. So like, to me, Overwatch is back. That's where we are now. I do feel bad for all the issues and the problems that other people, have been having. But I went into this expecting all of that because it's a Blizzard game, and I honestly can't think of an online game that they've managed to launch that wasn't actually like playable for real until like the second week. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, my issues with Overwatch had nothing to do with the quality of the actual game. I can't even comment on the quality of the actual game because I'm so bad at it. That's why I don't play, not because of the quality of the game, but because I'm not good at it.
I got you, and that's fair. What else? I played some Valkyrie Elysium, which I'm going to write a review for. I'm super early into that though. Enjoying it so far. And then this morning, a friend of mine got me. I don't even know how to say the name of it. It's like Abstergos or Abstergos.
Asterigos.
That one.
You can't say anything because I'm reviewing it. So.
Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't know that. Okay, well, yeah, never mind. And I think that's it. I think that's all I've really played. Oh, God of War. I went back to God of War because you guys know, but I'm not going to tell everybody. I've had an interesting week, and I needed to just kind of beat up stuff. So I put on God of War on first time on the PlayStation 5, and so this is the first time with the 60 frames per second and all the different enhancements and stuff. And damn, that game is beautiful, man. Like, It moves so, like, it's so good. Like, I'm hyped now more so for Ragnarok. Because I went through this, and I did the New Game Plus, because I beat it before, so I just did New Game Plus, and I forgot that they start, when you do that, like, you'll face, enemies that you meet in the end game at the beginning, because you still have, those weapons and different stuff, and it was throwing me off at first, but once I got back in the groove, like, oh my god, it's so good. I'm so excited for Ragnarok. That's going to be incredible. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've played.
All right. Well, I'll wrap this up, and no, I'm not going to talk about that game until the end, because I have a lot of things to say.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that after? Fine.
I will. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Maybe I'll I'm not going to talk about the big problems till we get to the news because I have another big issue with that. But as far as the rest of my games, it won't take long because most of the shit I'm playing I can't even tell you about. So there is that.
That's good.
Right.
Dakar Desert Rally is a game that I played this week. That showed up. I didn't really think much about it, and then I kept hearing people talk about that game. Is really, really good, but that game is for a very, very small niche audience of racing games. If you're not familiar with Dakar, Dakar is kind of like you're out in the middle of these very intense environments and you're racing based on GPS or a navigator, and this game really captures that really well, like even to the point where you see the GPS. Like if you go into the first person mode, you can see where it's telling you to go. Graphically, it's absolutely stunning, looks amazing. I like that there's 3 different kinds of racing, so like you can have like a motorbike, you can have a normal like 4x4, and then you've also got these big like almost semi-truck style trucks that you can race. But they've just done a really good job like pulling in the aspects of that game. You have to be into that kind of racing, though. It's a very long, kind of lonely track. There are other racers, but a lot of times you don't see them. It's very difficult. So like my first few races, I was finishing like 4th and 5th. So it's not something you're just going to jump right in and win, even on like the easier difficulty modes. But no, it's really well done. You just really have to be into that kind of game. As far as what I'm playing, I can't talk about that. I've spent a lot of time playing. I'm playing Them's Fightin' Herds, which I can't talk about. Nobody else wanted it, so I took A Plague Tale Requiem, so I've been playing that. Asterigos, which I talked about just a second ago. I've had that for a couple weeks, and I'll talk about that game probably next week. And I think that's all I played that I can't talk about. I'll go through the indie games real quick. A Frog's Job, another one of those. Here's a level, do some platforming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 48 levels or whatever. Platformer. Maze Blaze is the newest from Cubite. That is a isometric game where you're going through these labyrinths with this robot, and you're shooting these enemies. It's like almost like a twin stick shooter, but you don't use the right analog stick. I think it's a remake of an older game, but I've never played it. And you essentially are just collecting power ups. You're collecting ammo, and then, excuse me, like the maze will close off as you progress. So it's almost like a puzzle shooter. It's also very hard. Like when you die, you literally start all the way over. The next game is called Josh Journey, Darkness Totems. It's a left to right beat 'em up game with like medieval setting with 4 characters you can swap between or play co-op, and it's fine. Falling Out, which I think Anthony you were talking about last week, is like a side-scrolling roguelike game where you're playing as 2 characters. You can play co-op or you can play both at the same time. You'll swap back and forth between them to solve puzzles. It's got this really cool pixel art style.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I was looking at it and like it kind of reminds me of like Spelunky, the art style.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Spelunky vibes as far as art style goes, but gameplay-wise, it's a lot less hectic and chaotic.
Well, that's kind of nice because yeah, that's something that kind of turns me off of Spelunky.
Yeah, this is very much like do your platforming, not as much like fighting enemies and stuff. So, and then I don't know if anybody saw my tweet yesterday, so I tweeted out a video of the intro to the next game called Kamikaze Veggies.
Oh my god,
Yes,
yeah.
I
The
saw
Morgan
it. It
Freeman
looked
thing.
awesome.
I was like, what is this?
Like that dude like hams it up in that intro of like, hey, I'm a Morgan Freeman sound alike, and I'm gonna like that intro. You saw 30 seconds of it. That was probably like a 4-minute intro.
Oh
Like,
my,
it's
it was
crazy.
hilarious. Oh, it looked funny.
The game itself, not so great. It's literally it was just a third-person game where you're doing these puzzles, and the catch is obviously because it's called Kamikaze Veggies. like you pick these units and then you can destroy yourself to progress. So like the first roadblock I came to, I have dynamite strapped to the carrot's chest, and you blow it up and then move to the next area. It's the only thing funny that came out of that game is my son walked in while I was watching it, and he saw how much dynamite was on the carrot, and he's like, "That's too much dynamite. You should never carry more than 10 sticks," and then left. I was just
10
like,
is
okay.
enough.
Yeah, I think that's all of the indie games I played. I did go back to Steel Rising, play a little bit more of that. They must have patched it or something, because I was playing on the Don't Kill Me mode, where like I couldn't die. And when I booted it up, it gave me a bunch of achievements, even though I never got them when I was first playing it. So that was weird.
Maybe they did. Maybe because maybe people complained about, because I know that was the thing I was reading at the time, that people were upset that, I'm tailoring the difficulty, but I should be able to get, the achievements or something else. Maybe they caved and just let them give it to them. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever. I mean, it's an achievement point. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
They're not real points or anything.
Like, it's not like
who
you're losing
cares?
money. Right.
Like, I didn't care that I wasn't getting them. I was just enjoying
me
playing
either.
through the game. But
Exactly.
But like I booted up the game and I got like 5 achievements. I'm like, oh hey, that's cool. That'll do my, as Drew would point it out, that'll do my daily quest of getting an achievement per day. But no, then obviously it was Overwatch launch week, but you wouldn't know because most people didn't get to play it. So, like Terrence, I expected Blizzard game. I didn't expect to play on Tuesday. I even said that when people were like, why didn't you take the day off? Like Jay asked, like, why didn't you take the day off? I was like, because I know I'm not going to get to play, even if I do. So, Tuesday, fine. People on Twitter were going nuts. Like, I lost my skins. I lost this. I'm like, it's the launch week. It's fine. Like, I defend it. Blah, blah, blah. We all knew it was going to be broken. Dude, it was day 5. And, like... And this will go to what Anthony was talking about. He and I hopped on Friday night, and we were going to play, and it was working. And we got into a chat, and he was trying to get his account set up, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm in a game right now. Once you get that up, we'll pair up, and we'll play. Well, right as we were doing that, they announced a maintenance. Like, and this was after a maintenance that had happened right before we played. And so it was back-to-back maintenances within an hour and a half of each other. And at this point, I had been able to get into the game. I'd had to go through the queue thing or whatever, but I was able to get in and play. A lot of the stuff is still broken, whatever. After that maintenance went through, I was no longer able to log in the entirety of yesterday, Saturday afternoon. Like, all day I wasn't able to log in. And this was all over Twitter. It was all over their forums. They did not say a word.
Yeah, I've not been able to log in either.
I didn't know it wasn't communicated. I honestly, you guys know, I haven't been looking at too much stuff. I've just kind of been going off of what you're saying. I didn't realize that they didn't communicate that to anybody.
Nope. No, they didn't say a word, and this literally happened right after they did that maintenance Friday night. So it was literally broken for a bunch of people. By the way, it finally did let me in last night. I got in, this is awful, I got in at about 1:30 in the morning, because I was still trying, and I ended up playing a couple hours last night. Well, now that I've gotten in, it's still broken to the point where, like, all of my legacy coins are gone. My friends list is literally just my Blizzard friends list. I don't see any of my Xbox friends. Oh, and also if you earn an achievement, it kicks you out of the game.
Oh, that's good.
That's why I got kicked out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I literally got the Junker Queen achievement of where you throw the knife and pull them back and kill them, and it kicked me out of the game.
That's I got that too. Yeah,
so
and then I got dashboarded. I was like, and I'm done. Whatever.
Let me just try signing into the Battle.net app here that they wanted me to fucking download. I'm just putting in my password. I'm going to hit login. And it's spinning. Oh. Right back to the login screen. Good job, everybody.
We're going to talk about it in news, but I don't feel wrong in saying that I think this is the worst online launch of a video game I have ever seen.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
bad.
said to you, Ken, if it weren't for the fact that I was playing with you, this would be an uninstalled. I'm just good. I'm good.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the problems with this is like, yes, I will continue to try to get into this game. But you open
But
this
you're a
free to
fan,
play.
right?
Yeah, but you open this free to play to bring in the masses. They're tired of this on Thursday.
Yep, exactly.
Like, they've already given up. You've lost a ton of people
Yep.
because this is so bad. And you're right. What sucks is once I got into games last night, this game is fucking fun.
Yep.
Like, I was having a blast. I was getting into DPS games with, like, 2-minute waits, which is nothing if you've ever played Overwatch. And the new 5v5 means I'm actually shooting people instead of shields, which is super fun. Like, ultimates actually are powerful now. Like,
Yep.
the new maps are fun. The new modes are fun. I like
love
two of the
push.
three. I like 2 of the 3 new characters. I can't say I'm big on Kiriko yet. Like,
I'm not. Yeah, I don't like her. My son loves her. He's apparently a beast with her, but I don't like her. I'm not good.
she like her healing output is not enough. It's
Yeah.
just not. So
I
but
use Moira for healing. I love her.
Moira's OP right now. Like, she is basically a DPS character. Like, I was out DPSing the entire team as Moira. And
Where does it show you that now? Because you don't
just
get,
hold
like,
the back
medals.
button. Just hold the
Oh,
back
okay.
button, and you'll
Okay.
see everybody's stats. So
Okay, all right. I was
Yeah,
waiting for after the game, like looking for. Okay,
I wanted to play when I got in yesterday and played 2 matches. I wanted to play with Bastion because when I played the first game, I enjoyed Bastion as a character, but I could not. It would not let me.
yeah, because you were a new account, and I think he's locked right now.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Oh.
funny story, Ryan. That happened to me when I logged in on Thursday.
Well, so what's funny is I heard my son upstairs talking, and one of his friends was complaining about the fact that he wanted to play, but that all his characters were, or not all, but a lot of his characters were locked. And my son was like, well, I don't know what to tell you because my characters aren't locked. And I told my son, well, it's because we bought the first one.
Yeah.
And it's connected to your account. So I think there's going to be some folks out there that are going to be unhappy that some of the characters they're interested in are locked out of the gate.
No, absolutely. And like, I can't see the experience to unlock them. I think there's a menu called like hero challenges, and like if you
Yeah, it's
meet
something like
those,
that.
you unlock some characters. Something like, I will never see it. What's funny is I didn't even see that even when they bugged it and it showed mine being locked. Like, I still didn't see what those were. So, but I feel like once this game gets its feet under itself and stops having these issues, it's going to be really, really good. The problem is that everybody who was interested and downloaded it and was going to try it this week, they're done. They're not coming back for a while until, like, this game is in the conversation again and they go, oh, well, I'll try again. So, I don't know. It's bad. And, you know, I wouldn't have been pissed yesterday if the Twitter account or, you know, like the community or somebody had come out and said, yes, we know this is an issue. Here's an ETA of when we'll have it done. But to not say a
communication goes
word,
a long way.
yeah, but to not even say a word, like
Yep.
not even mention it on your Twitter. They finally tweeted about it at 12:30 last night. 12:30. This had been
Yes.
broken since Anthony and I tried to play Friday night at about, what was that, about 11 o'clock? It had been broken since then for me and thousands of other
Well,
people.
It was broken. I think we gave them too much credit. It was broken before they updated.
Yes.
We then gave it an hour, and then we came back because we didn't start chatting until after. Because when I started, I said, like you said, it'll be they'll be going down at 9. I was like, okay, well, I'll still try if it didn't let me in. It hasn't let me in since. So.
See, clearly, they need that Microsoft money. See, because if Microsoft owned them, these servers wouldn't be an issue.
I had this conversation with somebody on Twitter. They asked me, they're like, do you think if Microsoft, owned them right now, we'd be having these issues? Because I don't feel like they would. And I was like, you know what? I kind of get that same sense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is bad. Like, I don't know. I've been through a lot of online game launches. I remember Diablo 3. I remember, World of Warcraft. I remember EverQuest, all those. I felt like those were, you can play it, but we got some problems 3 to 4 days in.
Yeah.
The last night was day 5, and there were people who legitimately could not even get into the game.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's worse with, or at least it probably definitely feels worse with this one because it's free to play. Like all those other ones were, we had to pay for those. So maybe they felt some sort of sense of urgency or something because our money was on the line to, let us know something. But this, since they're like, well, shit, it didn't cost y'all nothing but a click, like we'll let y'all know when we got something. I don't think they're that arrogant. Of course, I'm just kind of doing that being funny, but it's just, I don't know. It's weird. Communication goes a long way, and they could have just said something. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. So obviously, it's not a problem for me. But what I think sucks the most about this one is the fact that you can't even play the first game. So, like, if you wanted to say, well, I can't play Overwatch 2, so I'll just get my fix by playing the first game until they fix this one. You can't even do that.
Yeah, we've had that shut down for a week now.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So again, that's not an issue for me because I don't care about the first game, but I know for other folks it is.
Every moment the player base is not on Overwatch, they could be finding their new game.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe it'll be Chivalry too.
Or the people that were wanting to try it are going back to the game they migrated from.
That too, yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's going back to Paladins. That's what it is. Everybody's playing Paladins.
Well, one last
sure
thing.
The 5 players that were playing Paladins are going to be glad that they don't have to switch from Paladins to Overwatch.
I did realize that I was able to get a full team really quick, so I think you might be right. Go ahead, sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We've talked about it now, so I'll delete this from the news, but there is one last thing that I wanted to talk about. So and this is on me as well. If I ever do this, call me out. I don't care. But I was listening to podcasts this week, and obviously this is a very hot topic conversation for people on podcasts this week. If you are not certain about what you're saying, don't speak about it with authority. So I was listening to the Nextlander podcast, and I love those guys. I think they're great. But to hear the one person on that show who does play Overwatch and has played quite a bit of Overwatch, I think hundreds of hours of Overwatch, don't make a statement unless you know it's true. He started off by saying that the Battle Pass was $40. It is not. It is $10. The Watchpoint Pack was $40.
Right, Jesus.
Second, he said that you could buy currency in the first game. No, you cannot. You never could.
Nope.
You could buy loot boxes.
Yeah.
You could not buy currency. And he also said you could buy the skins. No, you could not. Those were never for sale.
No, not with money. And it's my wife always complained about that. She was like, man, I wish I could just buy the gold to get this skin.
I was going to say, you could buy skins, but it was with the currency you could not buy.
With the in-game currency, yeah.
Yeah, so no matter what, like, you could buy them if you had the in-game currency, but the in-game currency only comes from in the game.
A loot box, or playing in the game, yeah, like...
And one last thing, and this kills me, like, how do you play this game for hundreds of hours and not know this? He said that because it's Vinny that was complaining. He's like, I just wanted the game to log me back into a queue. Like when you're playing quick play, you don't want to go back to the menu and select queue again. That's how it works. That's the way it's always worked. And the guy who had played Overwatch was like, no, you always had to re-queue. No, you did not.
No, you didn't.
I'm like, did you really ever play this game?
Right.
I live in glass houses, so I won't throw stones, but isn't that how most multiplayer games work? You don't... I I don't know if I know about one that makes you re-queue.
No, there
I
are
mean,
a few
there
that,
are a
that
few?
actually do. You'd be surprised. Yeah, and it's so stupid when it happens, but there are some that doesn't automatically put you in a queue.
This just
Matter of
shows
fact, Gundam is one of those. You don't automatically go in a queue. You have to get back into it.
This just shows
Yeah.
you how little I play online.
Now that's different in competitive, because competitive you do have to queue each time, which makes
Well,
sense
yeah.
because
Well,
you may
yeah.
not want to just keep looping, and queuing again and again and again.
Yeah,
So.
right.
But anyway, just listening to that, and I'm like, you realize how many people you reach who don't play these games, and like, I try to be that cognizant. Like when somebody's talking about like a Destiny or playing a World of Warcraft or something, like I ask the question, I'm like, is that what it is? Like, don't speak to the authority of it if you don't know. Like, it's just when you have that many people that listen to you and you put that out there, that's just bad. Like that.
Yeah.
To the 5 people that listen to this podcast, please know I'm an asshole that just speaks his mind, and I have no authority on anything. That has been my...
You have authority on
that's been
disaster
my,
report.
That's been
Anthony.
Well, you know what? Some of us unfortunately know too much about things no one cares about, and that's me. But for the most part, I am just speaking my opinion. Like the only reason why I say that is because we were talking before the show about Square Enix, and all that shit was my opinion of why Square Enix would have gotten rid of Tomb Raider. Like, they couldn't see the value. And I only bring this up because I just want everyone to know that the Final Fantasy VII Remake watches are on sale, and they're $350.
That's the sale price?
No, I meant like they're for sale finally.
I actually got a right before this podcast a note from Fender that the Final Fantasy XIV guitar is only available for a limited amount of time.
Jesus Christ!
How much is that, son bitch?
Oh, I'm sure it's very expensive.
More
I didn't look.
expensive. More expensive
It is
than the
cool
guitar
looking.
it's based off of. Like the internal parts of the guitar, I'm
Oh,
sure are
for
the
sure.
exact same as like a standard Fender. Probably they're cheaper ones too, but then the price is exorbitant. But yeah, I just say that because it's like I'm sure I've been called out on, or should be called out, or have said dumb shit and never corrected myself. So
Hey, if I say something wrong about a video game, correct me. Like I don't care. I try not to say untrue things about video games because if you don't know, don't give somebody like that's playing the game of telephone. See, it's the age-old game of telephone. Like when you hear it, you immediately think it. And it's just,
Yeah.
I don't
Not
know.
me,
I don't
say
like
untrue all the time on purpose.
it.
yeah, everything that I've said that's untrue was on purpose and a lie to
Absolutely.
keep you on your toes. That's
Yeah, but no, that's just something like I. It's funny. It's one of those moments where I'm in my car and I'm driving and I'm listening to this and I just say to like, there's nobody else in the car and I'm just sitting there saying to myself, no, it fucking doesn't. Like, how could you be so wrong about something you spent hundreds of hours playing? I think that's the thing that kills me the most. Like, it'd be like me not knowing something like a rule in football. And like completely being like, oh no, when you hit the quarterback in the head, that's not a penalty. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm done talking about Overwatch.
I believe hitting the quarterback in the head is just speedrunning CTE.
Damn, Anthony, that is dark. Jesus. All right, you want to talk about video games? What's coming out this week? You want to do that?
Yes, because I have pulled up a good amount of them, just in case you're wondering what they are.
There's so many. So I'm going to start with Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, as I normally do. We're going to run through this list. It's massive on all fronts, so this is going to take a little while. We got Asterigos, Curse of the Stars, Evil.
Yeah, which, by the way, do you want to talk about that Asterigo Curse of the Stars stuff that's going on right now?
What stuff is that?
That folks who pre-ordered the game were supposed to be able to play it early, and they have been able to on PlayStation, but they can't on Xbox.
Is that what that tweet was about yesterday?
Yeah, so I don't know much about it other than what I've seen on Twitter, but apparently there's some kind of bug on Xbox that's preventing people from being able to play early, and they were supposed to be able to if they pre-ordered.
You know, it must be fixed because I was playing it today on Xbox. 'Cause
Were
my
you?
friend bought it, like he gifted it to me.
It doesn't sound like it was affecting everyone.
Oh, okay.
So it's possible that you just got
It was
lucky.
one of the outliers. Yeah, I got you.
I'm tired of
Interesting.
this class system that we have in video games now. The haves and the have-nots. Yeah, it only affects some people. All right, thanks. Fucking
That's cool.
Overwatch.
Overwatch was bad about that this weekend.
You just mentioned Evil with two L's.
Evil, that's on Game Pass this week, whatever that is.
That sounds like it's a pretty good game for Game Pass because it's like a medieval-looking version of Among Us.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it does. It looks interesting.
Well, I mean, you can play it. It's just on Game Pass, so
I might give it
Yeah.
a shot if I can.
hit that.
Okay,
shit.
go ahead. You run through it because I know you said it's a lot, so we want to try to interrupt.
NHL 23. This is the week of the sports games that nobody really talks about. PGA Tour 2K23. No More Heroes 3 is making its way to consoles that can actually run it. Train Life, a railway simulator, Orient Express Edition. Blood Wash, which I know what that game is. That game's weird.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, weird horror game that I won't say looks like a PS1. It looks more like early Source models, like early Half-Life models.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got that late 90s, early 2000s PC look to it. Unusual Findings.
That's a point-and-click adventure that kind of looks like a darker version of Maniac Mansion, where you got the three people.
Yep.
And stuff. Yeah. Great 80s poster. Everybody should look up the poster for Unusual Findings. They made it look like an old 80s movie.
Yeah, it is a good poster. I think it's the box art too. Asterix and Obelix XXXL, The Ram from Hibernia. That's a mouthful. Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Bloody Ties, which I'm assuming is DLC. The most apt DLC title for a game, KO the Kangaroo. Oh well. That's the name of the DLC.
Oh, well. Nice.
Oh well. We're going to talk more about this game next week, and we're actually going to be doing a giveaway. But the Eternal Cylinder is getting a next-gen patch.
I love that game so much.
Anthony loves that game. He's in the Accolades trailer.
Yeah, they just put my score up. They don't quote me, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Nice.
We got this game for review, and nobody answered me like normal.
The last Ori crew.
The last Ori crew.
You know why I didn't answer? I looked at screenshots and immediately went, oh, that looks like a Souls game.
It's a co-op game.
Then I'm out
So
because
I
I don't
don't
have
know.
friends.
Well, they sent us two codes, so
Its game is designed as both single-player and co-op experience. Sci-fi medieval world. Alright, fuck it. I suppose I'm gonna... Watch, it'll be like, oh god, what's that game? Oh no, that said You Died. Very Souls-like. Oh god.
I don't know. I don't know what it
Enough with the
is.
Souls games. Stop doing things that make me like interested and then going, it plays like a Souls game. I don't want to. I don't want to play fucking Dark Souls anymore.
That game I played this morning. Well, I can't. He can't talk about it. Yeah,
If I
I don't.
If I
Go
wanted
ahead.
Dark Souls, I would play Dark Souls or another game from Software, for fuck's sakes. You're not. I hate to tell you this. You're not as good as the game you're copying. Stop it. Fuck.
So, by the way, just an update. That Sturgos thing we talked about, they posted on their Twitter account 7 hours ago, so at 5 o'clock this morning. Good morning, evening. Overnight, the Microsoft team made a fix that allowed some players to launch the game. However, many are still experiencing the inability to start it even after reinstalling. We are investigating the cause and are doing everything in our power to fix it ASAP. But it does seem like, at least as of a couple hours ago, there were still people tweeting them saying, this is still not working. So, I don't know, sounds like your mileage may vary.
Man.
and there's a couple people, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but that said it's working for those that recently pre-ordered, and that some people have been able to cancel and pre-order again, and that caused it to work, which is a little weird. But yeah, they were supposed to have 3 days early access, and if you pre-ordered, and it sounds like this is bitten into at least a day and a half of that.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's out on Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, so yeah,
Weird.
Anyhow,
Cobra Kai 2, Dojo's Rising. game-
Mr. Dojo Rising.
It did not need a sequel. That game was
Dude,
just
I saw
okay.
the screenshots and I was like, "What the fuck? What? Ah!"
Well, it's
Yeah,
also what, a $50 game?
And it's got fireballs in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
And
to be
ice.
fair, the first one had crazy shit in it too. But like they raised the price of it. Like the first one was what, 40? I think this one's 50. These are not $40 and $50 games.
well, those fire effects, they cost money. So I guess they feel like they amped it up for the sequel, so it was justified to raise the price.
Yeah. Dragon Ball: The Breakers.
Oh, is that this week?
That's this week. Fortnite Anime Legends, so you can get your anime on. Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Slime Speedway. Psychonauts 2, Mother Lobe Edition.
That's a physical version.
Yep.
I looked it up just to make sure it wasn't like new content.
Saint Kotar.
Point and click adventure. I'm extremely interested because it reminds me of the original Black Mirror game, but it looks like an old point and click adventure. So I don't. Published by Soy Desco. It's got mostly positive reviews. It came out a year ago on PC. I'll probably end up playing it.
Scorn. The squishy game.
Can't wait to find out that it's not great.
I'm excited to play
I
it.
am excited
mean,
to try it, but my god, do I have low expectations.
Sure. I'm not expecting like Game of the Year material, but it's on Game Pass, so fuck it. Star Trek Prodigy Supernova. Trifox and Winter Games.
So, Trifox is
Is
a
this a Star Trek game? Sorry, go ahead.
Trifox is a action adventure. I guess it says it's platforming too. Twin stick shooter. It looks pretty good. It's very colorful. If you told me it was made by the same people that did Lucky's Tale, I'd believe you because it's a Fox character, very similar sort of graphic style. But yeah, it looks pretty decent.
And PlayStation 5 is exactly the same games. There's nothing specific to PlayStation 5. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, looks like a lot of the same stuff, but we're also getting Kamiwaza, Way of the Thief.
I'm looking forward to that game. Watch me be disappointed by that too.
Prison Architect, Undead. The Witch's House, MV. And that's all there. Let's check Xbox One. Probably the same stuff. Yep. The only different one is Space Roguelike Adventure, which sounds perfectly up my alley. And The Darkest Tales, whatever that is.
The Darkest Tales is a platforming game where you play as a bear, a teddy bear. It's got this like kind of gothic style to it. I'm not sure if it's like supposed to be a Metroid sort of game, but it looks like it's more like a old school Castlevania. Really neat art style, but it doesn't interest me overall.
All right, Nintendo Switch.
Here we go.
Hold on to your butts.
I have a bunch of this shit pulled up. None of
All
it
right,
is creepy.
we start off with 9 Years of Shadows.
That looks like a really good Castlevania, Metroid sort of game. Art style is all pixelated, really detailed.
Aquarist?
I believe it's because it's like an aquarium builder. So I don't know how you'd pronounce that, but I need to share this screenshot of it because it makes me
boy.
laugh.
Was it in a bedroom?
Yeah, it's a bedroom and the aquarium has fallen over.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Alright. Froggy World? There's only one G, so I'm assuming it's Froggy World.
It's a 2D platforming game that made with very few pixels.
I think that's the game I just talked about.
Maybe. It's probably more than one.
I think that's the one where the frog god resurrects you and turns you into a reaper, and you're supposed to collect the souls of the other frogs.
That's a different game. I know what you're talking about. That's a different game. This is not that at all. This looks like even worse than... It has less detail than Dadish.
I like that nobody batted an eye when I said that the frog god turned you into the frog reaper.
Because I know what game you're talking about.
You were like talking about a Switch game, so I was just like, "Yep, that's par for the course over there, man." That's yeah.
Well, the game I'm talking about, I played on Xbox.
That's a frog's job.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a frog's job. That's what.
Man, frogs living large this week. Shit. Bassmaster Fishing 2022 Super Deluxe Edition. In Sound Mind, which is a fucking great game. Oh, I am afraid of what it runs like on Switch, though. Holy shit. Pink Explorer. I'm skipping the stuff we've already talked about. Lego Brick Tales. Polaris. There are 4 Battle of Polytopia games. The Battle of Polytopia, the Battle of Polytopia Aquarian, the Battle of Polytopia Semanti, and the Battle of Polytopia Illyrian.
Sure.
Yeah. War Pips. Atari Mania, which is not the 50th anniversary.
No, but it looks kind of interesting. It's a micro game collection that's like based off of Atari stuff. So you're going through the history of Atari, but like in a wacky WarioWare style.
Interesting. It could be good. Bot.Vinic Chess 2. I have no fucking clue what that is. Bus Simulator City Ride. Here we go. Loot Box Simulator RPG Anime Girls.
what?
Swear to God,
They literally just
feel
slapped a bunch of.
I feel like I've looked at a completely different list of games than you.
That's Paradise Marsh is the next one.
That one is like a first-person exploration game, but like everything's 2D, and it looks like you're out catching bugs, like cartoon bugs. It was kind of cute.
Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion HD Renovation.
I don't know if
That's a
I
mouthful.
thought like when I looked up the game, I thought it was going to be the one I was thinking of. So it's a mansion that you go through, but all the jump scares are like cartoon creatures. Like nothing super scary, but there's, it says, can you survive 1,000 rooms of cute terror? Or will you break once the cuteness starts to fade off and you're running for your life from the unspeakable hideous beings that shake and writhe in the bowels of the house? I've only seen the original, but now I'm going through the screenshots. And they definitely up the scariness. They wait for you. They wait in hunger for meeting you. Yeah.
How have we not had a remake of Ill Bleed at this point?
I don't know. Probably licensing issues.
Oh, I love that game. Temp Zero.
It's a... God damn it. When I swear to God, it said it was like a roguelite game. It looks like... Never mind. When I first loaded up, I'm like, oh, this is going to be... It has all the things that Ken hates, but then it's not saying it here.
Okay.
On the Switch shop store.
The Darkest Tales, Witchcrafty.
That looks pretty good. Metroidvania. Looks like you make spells. Great pixel art.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass Wave 2. Arrow Heart.
That's a Link to the Past clone.
Didn't that come out last week on PlayStation, Xbox?
It says release date on PC was September 30th, so probably.
Okay. Beanie.
Okay, I had to look this up. I was like, what is this going to be? It's by the same guy who did MacBat 64 and the QE platformer that I can't remember the name of. So it's all like...
Cubivore?
Sorry?
Cubivore? Was that the one you're thinking
No. Super QE 64. That was like a
Oh,
Banjo-Kazooie.
okay.
So he and Tori 3D and Tori 2. It's the same thing, but he's doing a 2D game, 2D platformer, and they all look like old Rare characters that have been rendered. So it looks like the old Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country.
Huh. Okay. Goddamn the Garden.
It is a first-person adventure where you're challenged to explore Goddamn's world and ultimately become the successor of Badass Heaven. It is weird looking.
I mean, with a name like that, you gotta...
I mean, right, it's weird sounding.
Hold on. Just this screenshot alone should explain why I'm saying it's weird looking.
What the fuck?
What the...
The text at the top is the best part.
Oh god, I didn't even see that!
There's another screenshot where there's a like clownfish.
I love the responses.
Clownfish on the table. It's his name is apparently Santa's idiot. I'm cursed. I'm telling you now. Kill me. And then you have the responses of "Shut up" or "I understand." King's with you.
Wow.
I mean,
man.
It looks it looks fucking.
Somebody
weird.
make a note. I need to say that the tagline for this episode is "Sup, want kiss?"
Yes, that should be.
That's totally got to be the
What
tagline.
kiss?
Time to die.
NASCAR rivals. You want to tell me what that is, Anthony?
You go on the track and you race around.
Making a left
turn
turn. You're making left turns.
Super Funky Bowling and Ultra Mega Extra Party Challenge.
There was two that I have up that didn't show up in that list.
All right, what do you got?
I have Space Roguelite Adventure. Sorry, yeah, I did have that up. I didn't realize that.
We
it's a
talked about
yeah,
that. It was on Xbox.
Yeah, it's a platforming game. I had it up. That'd be why it was probably thrown in with the thing. And then Fallen Knight.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Okay, sorry, I must have missed that. That's what happens when you have too many tabs open. Looks like it looks like Mighty Number 9. To be honest with you.
No.
Published by P-Cube, made by Fair Play Studios, has a mixed review on Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned a bowling game, Ken. I am continuously amazed that we have not gotten another good PBA bowling game.
There was one I talked about 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah.
I must not have been here for that show.
What was that? Oh, fuck.
It's like a PBA, like a pro bowling game?
Yeah, it had the people and stuff. 2023, I think. PBA
No,
bowling.
I must not have been here for that.
Yeah.
What's it on?
It's on Xbox. I played it on Xbox. PBA Pro Bowling 2023.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's bowling. I mean, it's got really good, like it's got a bunch of characters. You can, I know this probably means more to you, like buy custom balls and upgrade skills, and like it's good.
I want to note that
All right.
for the
I'll check that
last
out.
4 episodes, Ryan has been here, so...
I
just
must
were
have just been
ignoring
ignoring
me.
you.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have perked my interest, so
It's hard.
Yeah.
surprised.
It's hard to pull out the gem amongst the utter shit that gets released every week.
Oh, tell me about it. Like, when I play these games, like, that's why I skip stuff. Like, the point-and-click adventures I skip because you know what those are. You know what those are going to be. If I see it says, like, tactics-based, I usually skip those. If it says, like, roguelite, most of the time I will skip the... Unless it has a really cool art style and I just want to check it out. Like, there's just too many video games. Way too many.
I also wish there would be a really good tennis game, but I don't feel like the last couple that have come out have been any good.
The last one hit Game Pass, but I never played it. Did you try it?
Not yet. Is that AO Tennis 2?
It might have been. I can't remember. I just remember a tennis game hitting Game Pass. It was like a big deal because it was like a $60 game or something.
Check it out.
Yeah.
That bowling game's not on Game Pass, is it?
No, but it's cheap though. It's like less than $20.
Okay.
All right. News. Let's do some news. God of War Ragnarok is gold. Nobody cares?
Right, like, well, that's great. It's coming.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I never had any doubt that it was coming, so that's why I'm not really over the moon about it, but I'll be more over the moon when it's actually in my PlayStation.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is, like a month now? So it's a month out, right? It's 11/9?
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary was finally acknowledged with a 90-second video.
They got stuff planned. I know, because I know you are a huge fan, and as well as a lot of other people. They're going to do something. They have to. And then you got your boy, the biggest troll ever, on Twitter, like getting people's hopes up for different stuff. But he also was tempering expectations too, because I think he did say that they weren't going to announce that they were going to do something for the. I don't know if this video was it, but they weren't going to announce their next game. Before they do this Mortal Kombat celebration or whatever.
I hope so. I did watch the interview he did with Brian Tong about it, and he definitely knows something that he's not saying, but I don't think we get a game. I don't even think we get a collection, which is a load of shit. Like, how has this series not been brought to any, like the last time we got a collection was on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And it was just the first 3 games.
I don't think I realized that. Wow.
Yeah, they released the 3 arcade versions of 1, 2, and Ultimate. And it was on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Gotcha. Well,
and
he did say that they have more than one pot on the stove, so they're working on more than one game. So maybe you get a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but if you watch that interview, he clarifies that as saying we're always working on more than one thing.
Oh, that for God's sake. Okay, well, I'm going to stop trying to find a silver lining here.
Man, 30th anniversary of one of the biggest franchises in video gaming is a wet fart, and it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Platinum's CEO apologizes for Babylon's Fall,
before we move into bombs
ahead.
for a moment, I just want to point out that, like, what happened for the anniversary of Zelda?
I think they were going to do something, and then Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed, or what's it called? Tears of the Kingdom? That's the name, right?
Yeah,
okay.
They didn't do anything else. Like, for Mario, they at least repackaged old stuff.
Well, they did do the Game & Watch, right?
I will fucking golf that fucking Game & Watch across fucking green. That does not count. Ugh.
Honestly, Anthony, I think what happened is I think they had the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker remasters ready, but they wanted to release them closer to Tears of the Kingdom.
Why would you want to... That doesn't go... They're going to cost full price. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Why would you ask full price when you're also going to release a game that's full price?
Well, what I'm saying is they wanted to do it in like a stutter step, like 3 to 4 months before Tears of the Kingdom. That one.
The only stutter step I agree with is Bismarcky. Thank you.
You got what I need.
That different song. Thank you.
I understand it's a different song, same person. Though.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna fade out. Excuse me.
Platinum CEO apologizes about Babylon's Fall, but does double down that Platinum wants to continue to make live service games because clearly they got it right the first time.
Yeah, they need to not.
Who's backing that one?
Right.
They're looking for that Microsoft money.
They're fucked. That whole company is just fucked. Like,
Bayonetta will come out and everybody will forget.
But that's the only thing they have at this point.
Well, somebody will fund them for another game. You watch.
They burnt the bridges everywhere.
I mean, doesn't mean somebody won't give him a second chance.
I still am holding out hope that Scalebound will come back at some point because that really was super interesting. Like, it looked good. Like, it sounded like, I don't know. I really hope that they come back to that.
It'd be great if Microsoft just handed that to Ninja Theory.
No, Ninja Theory seems to... No. Then it'll
Just
be a
hand
Souls
off.
game.
No. They did the DMC.
Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of Team Ninja. Sorry.
Yeah,
Ninja Theory, that's fine. I'm thinking about Team Ninja.
Just the
Team
hand it
Ninja
off.
just makes
Ninja.
Monster Hunter clones and Dark Souls clones now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because, they don't want to do Ninja Gaiden. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But
man.
yeah, I was like, they just handed off to Ninja Theory, who they own. I'm like, do the thing you did with DMC, but with this instead.
Yeah.
The October Nintendo Switch Online N64 game is Pilot Wings,
Yay.
which means it's not
It was
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. What?
Nope.
Okay.
The way Ryan came in with the yay.
Right?
I love Pilot
Oh,
Wings.
I-
Unabashedly.
I know it was a real excitement, but the way it came out was just funny.
Yeah. I have no idea when GoldenEye is coming out at this point, but we didn't get an N64 game in September, and we get one for our October, and it's fucking Pilot Wings, which is great.
Hey,
I love
don't
Pilot
hate on
Wings.
Pilot Wings.
I love Pilot Wings. I love both of them, the Super Nintendo and the N64 one.
I wish we would have got a new one.
Yeah, well, they were relegated to the 3DS.
Yeah, which was good. That one was good too.
Speaking of service games, where the fuck is Sony with the PP? Like, they announced those at the beginning of the month. It's the fucking 10th.
Where is Sony with the PP?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Jim is too busy whining about other companies to hit the button to upload.
Yeah.
No, he's whining about Activision.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, PlayStation
It's-
PP is not launched, but you know what did launch?
The All-Star program, I think. I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation
Yeah.
Stars. It sure
See,
did.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
get-
what it's called.
You can get that fucking generic background for your T-Rex JPEG.
Oh
And my telescope JPEG.
Yeah, so fucking
Just get
exciting.
it, stars.
This is so exciting.
Oh,
How many
for the
games you got to buy
players.
to get a free game?
I don't know, 100 million.
Somebody did the math. Somebody did do the math. It's like 124 games or some shit. I don't remember.
Jeez.
So buy 124 $70 games. You get it's probably not that number. It is a lot though. It is a lot to get a free game. But I mean, you can get the T-Rex JPEG because fuck it, that's awesome. I'm sorry, I saw somebody display their trophy case on Twitter of an image of it, and it looks like some shit I would have came up with in MS Paint like 6 years ago.
Nice.
It looks bad. I'm sorry, it looks bad.
I agree with you.
I
think
didn't
it looks
even
like
look
crap.
at that program. Like, I know they talked about it, and I've read blurbs, but I've never like read a whole big thing because I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't even sound. They lost me at the JPEG stuff, like making it sound like that's so uber cool. Ugh, no.
I know they were trying to like tug on the nostalgia by putting the PS1 T-Rex on there, and I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah,
You know?
no, yeah, that type of stuff. Like, no, man, come on. Like, I don't care. So I haven't even looked at any of that. I won't be a PlayStation star, unfortunately.
They give more attention to that fucking T-Rex than they do their legacy lineup.
Yeah, true story.
That's messed up.
EA put out a couple things this week. Need for Speed Unbound was announced. It's out December 2nd. Very anime inspired.
It looked like...
Nobody Need for Speed guys?
I'm not. It looked like Underground, because I got into Need for Speed when the Underground series came out. That was, of course, when Fast and Furious was big, and I was like, "Oh man, this is good." And I remember I played Underground 2. I just kind of got an Underground 3 kind of vibe from it, especially with the whole like graffiti kind of. Why is that the new thing? Why is that what's hip now? We're going back to because Street Fighter is doing that with its like effects and stuff, and I'm like, is that what the blacks are doing now? With graffitiing and stuff?
Holy shit.
So, is that what's happening? I don't know.
I don't even know where we just went, but I don't think you can come back from that.
Listen, I can say what I want. Shit, look here, I'm black as Ace of Spades. Listen, I'm saying it being funny, but I'm saying it being funny, but there's also some truth in it. Like, I don't, because
there is 100% some truth in it.
That's the aesthetic that we're going towards is back to, and I'm like, why is that what's hot now? I don't know.
Well, it's not the. I don't know about that. First of all, the third Underground game was Carbon. That was kind of their. See,
I didn't play that. See, I didn't even play Carbon.
Neither did anyone else. And then, yeah, like when you say Need for Speed Unbound, the first thing I thought of was like, didn't that game already exist? And it's like, no, that was Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer Unbounded, made by Bugbear.
Oh, that's where I knew that Unbound title sounded familiar. It was a Ridge Racer game. Okay.
Yeah, it was not even made by Namco. It was made by the guys that make fucking Flat Out.
Wow. Okay.
Unbound. Now I have to look up what you're talking about with the spray paint stuff.
Well, and then like the art style is, like you said, anime-ish. Like the characters all like have like anime outlines, but it's like intermixed with like realistic looking cars. It's really weird. I don't know.
Did you see the screenshots of the map? Like it looks real. Like it graphically it looks freaking real.
Wow. Okay.
But there's gonna be some anime like Akira taillight shit. You remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Why do I feel like I'm looking at like a website built for Burnout Paradise? Like, this is so fucking weird. Oh, and it is ASAP Rocky. I thought that was. I mean, at least I can tell who it was right away. But yeah, what a weird.
Hey, you know, if it's good, it's good. I
didn't know this game existed until 2 seconds ago. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, they just announced it.
Yeah, it shows you
yesterday, I think.
Shows you how much I was paying attention.
Speaking of EA and announcements, they also announced Dead Space is out in January and showed off a new gameplay trailer. And yeah, that looks like Dead Space.
It looked too much like Dead Space.
I am interested in this because I only played through. I never played the third one. I think I maybe played like half of the second one, but the first one is the only one that I remember playing through, and I only did it like one time. So I'm actually kind of interested to revisit.
It's a good ass video game.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I liked the first one. I mean, I think the one people had issues with was the third one. Like, the
third one had a bunch of microtransactions, but it's still fun because it's the only one you can play co-op, and it's a lot of fun to play co-op. But yeah, some of that microtransaction shit's kind of annoying in the game.
Gotcha.
More trailers. The Mario movie trailer was this week.
Oh Lord.
I thought it looked good.
It looks really good. You know what
the animation looks good.
It does. It looks
voice
good.
Acting's
questionable.
Well, I mean, specifically Chris Pratt.
Thank you.
I'm not a fan.
No. I think what it is, and I think that maybe he did this to himself by saying, you know, my Mario voice is going to be something that you've never heard before. That's my Chris Pratt impression. In case you,
that's a good one.
Thank you.
You have more.
So he was saying,
you have more range than Chris Pratt.
Well, see, that's what I heard. Like when he like talked, I was like, dude, this just sounds like Chris Pratt doing an Italian guy. Like that doesn't. This sounds like what I thought it was going to sound like.
It's a me, Mario. It's like great. I can still tell that it's Chris Pratt underneath all that.
Right. Like, I don't know. He did
Animation.
it to himself. Like, he hyped it up, and he shouldn't have did all of that. Like, you
shouldn't have
just
been-
came through, and did your thing, and then whatever, man. But nah. But
Shouldn't
I'm
have
going to
been-
watch it, because it looks cool. Like, the animation stuff looks good.
He shouldn't have been chosen in the fucking first place. Like, I'm just...
Agreed.
It's... you know, the little bit of Luigi you see in the trailer, you hear a bit of Charlie Day screaming, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I'd expect. Like, I don't expect Charlie Day to be doing a voice that's not Charlie Day for Luigi, but I think the casting was smart enough to realize we're going to play into this aspect of Luigi's character. I liked the idea of Bowser when it was announced, and boy, I think it's even better than I expected. Like, watching the animation in Jack Black's voice, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty much what I'd expect him to sound like. Even though he's been voiced in Super Mario Sunshine, I really kind of never liked the voice in that game for anyone. Toad was good. I was surprised. I was wrong with that one. I thought Keegan-Michael Key would be like just doing his normal voice, but no, he sounds great as Toad. I thought they were going to stick more on model. I'll be honest with you. I thought they were going to be stuck to making the movie look just like the games, and I like the fact that Mario does not look like he does in the video games.
Yeah, me too. I like that, too.
But
Yeah,
they-
I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It just shows kind of like how I felt about the original model of Sonic. Didn't look enough like Sonic. The new model doesn't look identical to the game of like the finalized version of Sonic, but it looks like Sonic. It's a great version of Sonic, and I feel the same about Mario. I think Mario looks different, but I can clearly tell it's Mario right away, and I think it looks
It's
fantastic. Don't fucking. Just the proof that white men can fail upwards is astounding. He's such a mediocre actor.
All right.
Yeah, and I think
agree.
so. Most of the folks I've seen defending his voice acting have said something to the extent of, nobody wants to hear video game Mario for 90 minutes, and it's like, okay, but there's an in between, right? There's
Yeah.
Exactly.
there's
Exactly.
a voice. If you were a professional voice actor, there's a voice that's between video game Mario, which usually only comes out in like really exciting moments or when he's jumping or whatever. There's a voice between that and Chris Pratt talking like Chris Pratt.
Yep.
And everybody that says like, well, Charles Martinet like hasn't really voiced Mario and things, but like, go and listen to him do Wario, where he's had
Right.
far more dialogue. He doesn't sound like what you think Wario sounds like all the time. He's a little bit more relaxed when he talks as Wario, because he
Right.
has to be, because he's doing long form dialogue.
Right.
But it's amazing. It's some of the funniest dialogue in all Nintendo games, because you get to finally hear this character speak. And I always said, I don't really want Luigi and Mario to talk. I want them to do the little things they do in the Mario and Luigi games, where they...
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just generally not a fan of this trend where every animated movie has to have celebrity voice acting.
He's so cool.
Thank you.
It's like, I mean, just hire voice actors. That's what they do.
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm just hyping you up, man. I'm here.
I
agree.
appreciate you
Yep.
being my hype man.
You know it. I got you.
And I want to just say, like, I'm assuming, like, you're talking about sort of the fact that they want these big names for already big
Yeah.
franchises. Because, like,
Yeah.
Jack Black is doing a good job. I'm not upset with Jack Black
Well-
doing voice acting, but I've also heard him in other shit.
Right.
And I guess, like, you
He
say,
has
well,
voice acting experience.
and,
Not
you
that
could-
Chris Pratt does not, but
yeah,
Chris
I know
Pratt
you-
has experience sounding like Chris Pratt across multiple different franchises.
I roll
Yeah.
back to the Yogi Bear where they were like, it's Dan Aykroyd and Justin Timberlake, and it's like, okay. And
It takes the focus away from the characters and puts the focus on the actors, and that's not what's supposed to happen in animation. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to care about the characters, and the actor is really just there to voice the character that the animators are bringing to life.
And it's all about that marquee and pulling people into the theater, which he does.
But does he, or is he just in big things? I'm so tired of this idea that, like, some people are stars because they pull in people. Let's see the things that he's been attached to. Lego, which is bigger than Chris Pratt. Jurassic Park, World, whatever, bigger than Chris Pratt. Marvel shit, bigger than Chris Pratt. At that point, when they were introduced, Marvel was on fire. It could do no wrong. And
I mean, I don't even heard of this dude until Marvel.
What was the other franchise I was just thinking of? God damn it! There was another one that I had on the tip of my tongue, and it was like
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I said that one already.
Oh,
and like Mario, maybe it was Mario. Yeah, that's fair. Mario is like, Mario's bigger than Chris Pratt. Like, why is he like? To me, like, regardless of who's in it, like let's say he did a really good job. I don't really care because I don't want to make this sound like I just dislike this guy, which I do, but it's not that big of a hate. I just don't find him interesting, and I don't understand the appeal. But like, I don't need to see Jack Black's name on the fucking poster either. Who cares? It's Mario. Mario's bigger than fucking any of these people. So, I just don't get why
Mario
always
busted in. I'm bigger than all you motherfuckers.
But seriously, like,
Let's go.
like it's just it's like, as much as Jim Carrey does a really good job in the Sonic movie, like, is Jim Carrey bigger than Sonic? Maybe. Like, I can understand it. We're a little bit on the ropes of like, who's the bigger name there? But like, Mario's been popular since Inception. So
he was popular before Inception. That movie came out in like the 2000s.
Jesus Christ. God damn it. I don't get it. I don't get it either. Like, yeah, it's never made sense to me, and I've changed my mind about some movies where I've watched, and I'm like, you know what, in hindsight, like, I don't know who else would have played this role. I'm thinking of Rango, which is a movie I really like. I'm not a huge fan of Johnny Depp. I hate most of his movies. And there's other reasons why I'm sure people don't like him now. But like, yeah, I really liked him in that role in Rango, but then I found out that they were acting out behind the scenes the whole sequence. So the actors were actually together, and it's like, yeah, it's a good role. Like, I think he does an amazing performance in that movie. Maybe someone else could have done it, maybe not. But when I first saw it, I was like, why? Why can't we just have animated movies with voice actors? It doesn't make any sense.
All right, moving on. Rumor mill Halo 5, or Halo in general, switching to Unreal 5. Which is interesting.
Is it on Unreal now?
No, Halo's been
on
a proprietary. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's all we need, right?
Prepare for stuff not to work, guys.
Yeah.
So is it Halo 5 or Halo Infinite?
Infinite.
Okay, because I say, that's really weird for them to go back and do that to 5.
No, Halo Infinite.
Prepare for that game to not operate like it once did.
I mean, I think people playing that game are pretty used to that at this point.
Engine changes, fucking post. I don't know if I've ever seen an engine change post launch. I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, I've seen games go from Unreal to another Unreal, but not.
Yeah, that, I mean, maybe, but like post launch.
Yeah, Fortnite did. Fortnite upgraded from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple of like MMOs and different games that I've played that have switched engines post-launch. It's not uncommon. I think what Ken is saying, like, I think it's more common that they upgrade from like Unreal 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, but they're going from their own engine to somebody else's. So I feel like that's going to be a whole big project, because like if the tools that were on our stuff isn't on theirs, then we're going to have to build it. Like that, I don't know. That's a lot. But I mean, obviously they see the value in it. So,
Well, we'll see. It's just a rumor.
yeah.
Elle Fanning is in the new Kojima game.
All right. Who is?
I was
Elle
hoping
Fanning?
somebody has something to say about this. 'Cause I
She's
don't
an
even know who that
actress.
is.
She's an
don't-
actress. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking up her IMDb to see if I know anything she's
It's
been
Dakota
in.
Fanning's sister.
It's Dakota. Yeah, she's pretty good. I mean, she's a good actress. I just don't care. I mean, telling me that she's going to be in it and I have no other context as far as what kind of game or anything else, like, okay, great. She got a job. That's what you told me. Good for her. Like,
I feel the same way about actors in video games as I feel about actors in animation.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not that worried about who the actor is.
I can almost
Right.
pinpoint exactly where Kojima would be like, I want to make a game with her in it. Because I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, I see it in the known for section. I don't know some of these movies. Like, I don't know The Beguiled and I don't know Somewhere.
She was in Maleficent, I think, if you saw that. She was the princess in that. Aurora, or whatever her name is,
Yeah, okay.
I think.
Alright, well, here's the ones that I'm like, I'm almost certain Kojima was like, something with her. She's in Super 8. Which I don't love.
yeah.
It's J.J. Abrams. But this is the one. The real one. The Neon Demon. That's a weird-ass fucking movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Man,
I don't
what
even know
would
what
it
that
what would it
is.
be like if this world had a movie directed by J.J. Abrams starring Chris Pratt with the soundtrack by Nickelback? Holy shit, people
God.
would implode.
What are you doing, sir?
That's the
Like
worst
every-
combination of things I've ever heard of in my entire life.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm
my
saying.
God.
So much hate for these people, and like, I like most of J.J. Abrams' movies.
I don't.
Zooming?
Here's my issue. Here's my issue with J.J. Abrams, and it's a quick one. He really can start things and never finishes them well, at all. Like, I don't know if he's ever wrote a good end to a story.
I couldn't answer that question. He didn't write the ending to Lost, so
Nope. He started it and then bailed on it to do Star Trek. Like, he's really good. He's the guy you hire if you're like, I need something big. And then he pieces out and everybody else has to figure out how the fuck it's going to end. Because every time he's forced to do something that, like, finishes and he's in... They're not good. They're not bad. They're not, like, the worst thing ever made. But, like, in comparison to how they begin and how they end, it's clearly he has the beginning of an idea and then just can't see how this is going to end well and satisfying. Yeah.
All right, a couple more stories here. Brazil has approved the Activision Blizzard acquisition, and the only reason this is news is because of the wording in the approval. It was kind of funny of how they're like, you know, this isn't going to hurt competition, and we're not really concerned about other people's profit margins.
That's so perfect. Perfect. Like, why are we so concerned? Like, unless you're a shareholder, like, why?
I'm just really curious on why Brazil has an input. Like, their video game market isn't... Like, they have to pay so much. Like, it's a lot of piracy, and I'm not criticizing that. It's just, like, the import laws in Brazil are fucked up. So, like, you get consoles like the Zebo and stuff. The Sega...
Oh man, I want a Zebo.
The Master System was still being sold. I mean, they still might sell Master Systems because Tectoy was able to produce... Because they had rights over Sega stuff. Not sure. It's very weird.
I don't know. All I know is
remember all this. Wow.
When
he's
you-
still young. He's still young. He hasn't lost
okay.
his brain yet.
So I'll tell you the reason why. As a person that likes Master System stuff, let's be honest, I really only give a shit about Wonder Boy. Everything else can get fucked. I remember playing like ROM hacked versions, essentially starring like characters that I don't know, and then I was like, well, why is this version of Wonder Boy like got different characters in it when it's the exact same game, and it's like, well, in Brazil the character Monica was popular, and so Tectoy was like, well, let's switch the characters out for characters from the Monica gang, and so it was like a comic that had its own game, but it's really just sprite changes. And yeah, they still sell. We're still selling like plug and play Sega Master Systems and shit. And it's just like, I didn't think that was still a thing, but then it's like, yeah, I found somebody on YouTube that's like, I just bought this. It's brand new. And it's like from, 2 years ago. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why are people still buying this? But that because the import tax and Tectoy exists within Brazil, it costs so much less, so much more reasonable to buy a Master System than it is to buy a PlayStation 4, which I think was like $1,000 when it launched. US. Like, $1,000 US for a PS4 in Brazil at one point.
Oh, the big thing on this that drives me crazy is I've seen 400 YouTube thumbnails from Xbox YouTubers who were like, deal approved.
No.
I'm like, no, motherfuckers, it's just one region.
And
they try to get them clicks, though, man, because that's going to make people be like, oh, it's approved? Look at this. That's why.
I'm sorry. Again, not to criticize what people do out there. There are so many Xbox and PlayStation YouTubers that literally will make a 30-minute video that says nothing.
This whole podcast has been 2 hours of nothing.
Yeah, but people know that coming in. I don't make a fake
We don't make
thumbnail.
a fake thumbnail with us going
Be like,
shocked.
Microsoft deal approved. Are you thinking you're going to go in there? Or they're like, new Batman game coming. And I go in like, oh man, new Batman game.
Dead.
6 minutes. They come in and be like, we think that I heard from my cousin's baby's mama who was sneaking out her brother's room at the time he was running from the cops that a Batman game might be coming. It took you 6 minutes to say that? You hyped it up with a... Okay, I'm going to stop because I'm about to rant.
I want to watch a trailer or I want to watch something that's been officially announced, and these are the same assholes who like have it where it looks like it's just the trailer uploaded, and then you're like, oh yeah, like 6 minutes, and it's like just them talking over stills.
Yep. You have to. You have to pay attention before you click on the video because it's so deceptive now. And I'm like, bruh, y'all are doing too much.
Account blocked. I never want to see another video from this account ever again.
I just can't believe people make, and you look at their subscribers, they've got like 400,000 subscribers, their videos are doing like 20,000 views a minute.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
for
crazy.
saying nothing.
But
like,
I can tell you why, and I unfortunately, I feel like I'm going political a lot in this podcast, even though I'm really not. It's the same thing with liberal and like conservative channels. You don't really have to say anything as long as you're waving the flag, and all these other idiots rally around you. And it's just like, if you're an Xbox fanboy or a PlayStation fanboy, or you like video games, you're waving the flag for gamers, real gamers, like, idiots flock to that, and I don't understand it. Like,
I do.
But
I understand it now.
Let's for a moment just look at this podcast. We disagree with, like, we don't all just play the same things. It's like we are friends because, I don't know, y'all made a mistake and invited me here. But like, we talk about...
You're our friend,
me, man,
you're our
not
friend
you.
from Canada that no one believes exists.
Yeah. But it's just... It's like they find this weird, like, connection based off of, like, the most arbitrary thing. It's like, guys, you really don't necessarily like the same stuff or even agree on matters. And that's okay. You can have friends like that, but, like, you're not even friends. You're just, like, they like the same thing I do, so I'm gonna just rally support behind them. And it's like, I've never understood that. I've just never gotten it. But that's what happens. Like, I can totally see, like, oh, what, is Sony in trouble? Says X-Man 2692, like, and you're just like, probably not. Like, but all the Xbox fanboys are like in the comments going, yeah, like, all right, stop hyping each other up. You're not saying anything of importance.
All right, moving on to Well, I'm moving on to the final story, and I want this up for reference if you want to look at it. So we'll talk about this. This, like, we literally finished recording last week, and this shit broke. So we'll start with the Horizon conversation. So this document leaked out. I've confirmed it actually with a couple people that there's more to it than this, but this is the one that a couple sites had, which shows like some upcoming Sony titles. And there's some interesting stuff on here. Most notably, the one that caused the internet to be in an uproar was a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Which is crazy.
Dude, that game is 5 years old.
Wait, so like 5-year-old games get remasters now?
Sure.
But wow. See, this is why I feel like they should have never remastered Mass Effect. It didn't need one. It wasn't old enough to have a remaster like that, because now they feel like, oh, well, okay, let's just remaster everything. Like, Last of Us has a remaster on 2 different systems. Like, what is life? Like, Sony, God, they are just so cocky right now. Is this still a rumor, or was this, like, confirmed?
It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I've seen multiple sources say that Horizon remake is real.
It's one of those things where there's enough smoke for it to be fire at this point, even though it hasn't been officially confirmed.
Yeah.
And I bet it's not going to be a free update. I'm sure it'll be $70.
Well, they already gave you a free update to Horizon. They already patched it for the PS5.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's going to be $70. All right. Got it.
Yeah. I guess they're adding a
man.
multiplayer component to it. There's also, on this list, you see Horizon Online, you see Horizon VR, you see Horizon 2 DLC, and you also see Horizon 2 for the PC, which I'm assuming is probably, going to be March. I think they've confirmed that PC titles are a year out from release of the game.
All I know is, of all the games that don't need a multiplayer, Horizon is near the top of the list.
Yeah, when he said that, like, I missed the rest of the stuff you said on the list, because I'm like, how the fuck are you going to put multiplayer in Horizon? Like, I'm trying to work it
Monster
out.
Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it's
Oh,
going to
wow,
be.
yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, okay. We'll play Monster Hunter. Like, what?
I don't know, man. This trend I don't like, because I think Ryan's right. I think after this gets announced and comes out, I think the next thing we see is God of War 2018
Yep.
being remastered.
Yep.
And
I
like,
mean, we're 4 years out from that. It's only 1 year younger than Horizon.
why? Like, those games play beautifully on the PS5 as it is.
Yeah. There's no reason
We'll
for
see
that.
we'll see how well Horizon sells. That'll determine
Yeah.
what happens.
Oh,
next.
it'll sell. It'll, like Anthony, just put the words money in the chat. Yes. Last of Us Part 1 sold. And then Drew's putting in some fucking weird movie trailer. He's... Motherfucker, you ain't on the show. You don't get no airtime. Just to kind of go over a little bit of what else is on this list. There's a Kojima game on here called Ocean. There's a Koei Tecmo game, which is Ronin, which has already been announced. Returnal on the PC. A couple vehicular combat games, both from Lucid. Sumo working on a game called Carbon, which is rumored to be an open world game. Studio called Ballistic Moon making a game called Bates. And then London Studios making a game called Camden. So, And then Heartbreak from Fire Sprite, which is a quote-unquote survival horror game. So,
Why didn't they remaster Sly Cooper? Like, why
Yes, exactly.
remaster Horizon? We ain't
because
heard from
Sly
Sly.
doesn't sell.
Give me
well.
the first 3 Sly Cooper games.
Yeah.
Remaster.
Not only does it not sell, it's a lot harder to remaster.
Yeah,
Sure.
Horizon's going to be a quick pass, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Listen,
you know what?
listen to you guys thinking economically.
I was just about to say that.
I
Like,
don't give a fuck about their profit margin.
Right. Like,
Give me
I
shit that I want to
realized.
play.
I mean, that's going to be my YouTube channel.
Do you shit you're gonna play? Why don't you play the same game and give us $70 for it?
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
yeah. If I could sell you another Big Mac after I just sold you a Big Mac, I'd totally sell you a Big Mac.
Man, now you're gonna make me want a Big Mac.
This is a Big Mac
Right?
remastered.
Big Mac remastered? Dude, you could sell that. Have you seen the adult Happy Meals? They got those now.
Yep, they do have adult Happy Meals now.
I thought that was a joke. I saw a picture on something, and I
Some
thought,
kind of
wow.
flea market, and they're terrifying. The toys that come with it are terrifying.
Yeah, the four-eyed
Birdie
Grimace.
McBird and Grimace with 4 eyes, and it's very weird. It's some kind of clothing line, I guess, that they partnered with. I've never heard of it. Apparently, I'm too old for the adult Happy Meal.
Right. I was about to say, I think I might be aged out of that as well. Man. Heading toward that early bird special. All right.
That's right.
Well, that's all the news I got, unless anybody has anything else.
No.
Nope.
Check on the Twitter. I don't want to miss any breaking news. This shit just happens every time, man. No, there ain't people ain't bitching on Twitter, so I think we're good.
Well, that's a shame. Well, they are. We're just not in that section of the bitching part of Twitter.
That's probably what it really is, yeah.
God, I'm glad I'm off that website.
I'm so glad, by the way, that Chivalry 2 continues the long tradition of people not knowing what the fuck to do in a multiplayer match.
Yep. Oh, God.
Escort this convoy, and everyone just runs the wrong direction to fight everybody. Like, what are you doing?
Protect these carts. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why are you
right.
guys? You're letting them break out their guys. What the heck?
They're just running around, killing everything, and not paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep. Oh, man. But I still love that game, though. It's still so
yeah,
fun.
same.
Even if I'm laughing at those people, I'm still having
Yeah.
a good time.
The $70 Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch runs like crap.
Oh yeah, I forgot Skyrim for some reason is $70 on Switch.
Oh, that's great.
Because
Why?
Well, it's been $60. I mean, the old version's been $60 for forever. This special edition is the one that they released.
$70 to play that version of Skyrim.
On the Switch, yes.
Like, why?
It's a great question, especially since if you have Game Pass, you can play Skyrim on your mobile phone.
Yeah, right.
But it's not the Switch.
Although I will say it doesn't really work unless you've already started a game, because at least in my experience, the cloud thing is busted when it comes to putting text in for Skyrim, so you can't name your character.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Christoph Gans apparently has talked about that there's several games in production with members of Team Silent, whatever exists of that studio.
Oh yeah, the guy that directed the Silent Hill movies.
Well, the first movie and the upcoming one. He didn't direct the bad one that was in between.
Also in breaking news, Christoph Gans to be replaced by Christoph Pratt.
What about Chris Gaines?
Hey, that was a good album.
I
That
prefer
was.
Chris Gaines at this point.
That Chris Gaines album was fire, and I don't care what anybody says about it.
Can-
I'll
can
defend
you-
that album till my dying day.
Can somebody explain to me why everybody knows about Silent Hill fucking video games except for Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Great question.
I just thought I'd bring it up because I was like, I don't know what a director for the movie would be doing involved with the video game portion, but whatever.
He's timing the release of the movie with the Silent Hill whatever the fuck. That's what they should call it.
The Silent Hill, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's
I like
call it
that.
that. I'm okay with that.
Did you hear about the actor who claims he co-created Mortal Kombat?
I saw that floating around on Twitter.
Why does he co-claim this? Or
Uh,
claim this? Not co-claim.
Because it's Anthony Marquez. I don't know which character he played.
Anthony Marquez was not a character in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, sorry. Was that a martial arts tournament in Florida when he heard the news? Yeah, Daniel Pacina, who I
Oh
believe
yeah,
was
Daniel
Johnny
Pacino.
Cage. Yeah,
Johnny Cage, yeah.
who ended up fucking them. Apparently, he brought it towards the judge, and this story's just kind of making its way around. And here's a quote Since the plaintiffs were the ones alleging a violation of their rights, they had to prove it by showing that their names and likenesses had value before Mortal Kombat. They
Oh.
could not.
Yeah, that's a shot to the pills right there.
The judge
Fatality.
came down and just kicked him in the nuts and said, "Go out of my court."
Prove that anyone cared about you before this game.
Get out of here!
Did anybody see the Yoko Taro's message, by the way?
No.
I have to read it. I'm sorry, but it's one of the funniest. I don't give a shit. Greetings. This is Yoko Taro, creative director for the Nier series. That we were able to release Nier Automata on the Switch was entirely down to all the fans who have supported us, and I have nothing but gratitude towards all of you, and I have a message for you now. If you are reading this, it means that I have already been sent to a factory deep underground. This facility houses a large number of kidnapped game creators who are being subjected to punishing forced labor, and I am unable to escape. The whole evil plot is being orchestrated by Square Enix. They were previously being run by a cruel and diabolical management team, but introduced a new AI system to improve efficiency around 6 months ago. The system then made the management team. No, I can hear footsteps at the door. There's no time. Everyone run while you still can.
Wow.
He
And then
wrote
the
that.
end of it,
Gets cut off.
and then the end of it just says, "Butts."
I just love the fact that he decided to shit on Square Enix.
I guess Nier runs really well on the Switch, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm
It
happy
already
for
looked
them.
like it already looked like it was made for it.
Oh, it looks worse. Like, I watched the video.
Oh, does it?
It looks worse than it did on Xbox One and PlayStation. But you expect that. It's the Nintendo Switch. Has anybody seen No Man's Sky on a Switch yet? I was curious.
No.
Wonder what it looks like. Because that game just got a huge update again. Which every time they release an update, I boot it up for 10 minutes, and then I'm like, yeah, okay. It's my No Man's Sky experience.
Yeah. I haven't played it in VR yet. I keep meaning to play it just to see what it's like. But then I'd have to actually put the PlayStation VR together, and it's just too complicated.
Yeah, especially on the
It
PS5. It's just
I
a
haven't even
giant
tried
pain
it
in
on
the
the
ass.
PS5. I've still got my PS4 Pro hooked up with VR
So-
on it. I just hate getting hooked in and making sure it fits. And
I feel like the Predator when I hook up the PSVR because I got all these like wires coming out of the back of my
Yeah.
head. Fucking, I heard my PS5 for the first time this week. Like,
Oh, the fan.
I was trying because I have problems. I was trying Overwatch on every platform just to see if I could log in, and I booted up my PS5 and loaded Overwatch 2. And as soon as I turned on my PS4, my PS5 just went. I was like, "Oh no!"
I didn't actually hear the sound effect. If you made one, I think your sound sensitivity is really good. But
NVIDIA broadcast is so good that it did not hear the PS5 sound. It
I
sounded
can
like a
imagine
jet.
though. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
I hired Chris Pratt to do my sound effect.
Chris Pratt handles my PlayStation 5 launches.
You can't hear it because it's unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
When's Gotham Knights again?
21st.
Okay.
So a week from
I
Friday?
thought Ghostbusters was this week. Is that
Next week. Next week.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So then Ghostbusters and then Batman is the next week. Cool.
And then Persona, and there's another big game. Oh, Bayonetta, and Call of Duty. There's a lot of games coming out in October.
It sounds like we're not getting another Disco Elysium, by the way.
I saw the people got let go or left or something.
Yeah, the writer of it is having problems with the studio. The studio's like, we have no further comment, and we're just gonna keep plowing on. It's like, all right, best of luck.
Sup? Want kiss?
And then the last thing I'm gonna say is that Humble Choice this month includes Deathloop.
Well, you can play it there. You can play it on PP. You can play it on Game Pass. Go play that game if you're.
It's cheap to play now.
Yeah, if you got the shit to run it, because it's next gen only. So, all right. Well, I don't have any tweets or I don't have any emails because people don't like us anymore, and that's fine.
Fair. Yeah.
You know.
In fact, I understand completely.
Okay. All right.
Did I hurt everybody's feelings with that? Jesus Christ.
Yes,
I don't know.
I had to mute the mic to cry for a second. I've recovered though. I'm better now.
That's
it's
good.
fine.
I'm glad you're better. All right. Well, that's the show. If you feel inclined to send us an email, it's podcast@ztgd.com. If you want to tweet at us, it's at N4G Podcast. You can follow all of us on Twitter. I'm at ZTGD. Ryan's at WombatRP. Terrence is at Lord Magnus. You can follow the site at ZTGD Content. You can check the show out on, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. It's all over the internet. Why aren't you listening?
Google Play? I like the way you said that. Google Play?
Google Play? You can use your Stadia refunds to send us money.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot that Stadia was even... Stadia was such a non-existent product in my mind. Like, you mentioned it and I go, oh yeah, that did exist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They are handing everybody refunds.
Yeah. Luna's still out there. You can go check that out. Subscribe to Amazon Ubisoft Luna. Do that.
I didn't realize that was still a thing even.
Yeah, Luna's still around. It's rocking. That controller is purple, I think.
Sure.
Alright, but that's it for the show. So if nobody has anything else, we'll get out of here. Peace, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G Podcast.
It's me, Mario.
$0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I've always lived being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.